Good evening, everyone. We're always trying to figure out who's going to go first, but I like to talk, so I'll just hi. I'm Dr. Imani, my aunt, and I'm here with my co-host Bernard Kynes,
Thank
and
you.
we'll work this out.
Yeah. I'm
So
Bernard
welcome
Kynes.
to welcome to the second episode of Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the Sankofa Institute for Wellness, LLC. We're excited about the show. We're glad that you're joining us either live or you may be watching the replay of this. Either way, we're glad that you took the time to enjoy the information that we're sharing. Bernard, would you like to tell the audience just a little bit about yourself? Not everyone was with us last week, so we'll just act like we're starting new.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Bernard Kynes. Happy to be here and happen to welcome everyone back. Those who may have watched last week and those who are coming for the first time, we welcome you to our podcast. I am J. Bernard Kynes, Senior, a licensed marriage and family psychotherapist. I'm here in my office. And along with my co-host and Dr. Imani, we've come together to put together this podcast. We've been thinking about it for quite some time, and we're just excited what we will bring to you, our audience, to share, and happy to be here.
All right, thank you. And again, I'm Imani Ma'at, and I am a health educator, wellness promoter, speaker, author, poet, mother, grandmother, and and podcast host again. Well, I did a blog talk show some years ago, and that was a lot of fun. So this is a way to kind of get back out there and share important health and wellness information with our audience. So thank you all for indulging us once again. And we're first and foremost with Bernard's skills and my skills and training and background experience. We're both dedicated and bringing to you through this show um, a way to facilitate community wellness, things that
Hmm.
we're involved with, but there's so many good programs and people and organizations out there who are doing tremendous work. And so this month, we are focusing on nonprofit organizations. But before we get to our topic this evening and our guests, I would like Bernard to start us off with a little kind of spiritual intro for the show, and
Sure,
after that, I'm going to follow up with an affirmation.
sure. Thank you, Imani. Uh, Spiritual mind, body, and spirit is one aspect of what we are about. We're not a religious organization or bringing a religious uh, elements to the show, but definitely spiritually. So I want to just introduce what you will hear from time to time. What I use in my sessions. This is my gong bowl. And when I hit the gong bowl, this is an invitation for you to join me in taking three breaths. I call them cleansing breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose. And then I have a brief and very short reading I want to share with you that a client shared with me. So here we go. So I invite you to take three deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Three of them deep and full. And allow yourself to begin to relax. And this helps the brain, the three breaths in and the longer breaths out, to center down and help us to relax. And we always welcome the ancestors. We pay homage to our ancestors. We don't worship our ancestors, but because they were, we are. And we're here because the ancestors have allowed us and blessed us to be at this place at this point in time. I want to share these words and then Imani will follow up and we will continue with our show. These words say, Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. That is where you come from and where you will return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity, lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up. Often, you didn't come here to be perfect, you already are. You came to be gloriously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again in remembering. It is indeed that we come to you in honor of our ancestors. Ashe and Namaste. Imani?
Ashe and namaste. That was beautiful, Bernard. Thank you so much. I love
You're
those
welcome.
words. And they had the effect on me of helping me to relax. My shoulders went down a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
breathing was so good. And also the message about, being perfect and the fact that we already are, so we don't have to try to be. So thank you so much for those words. Back in 2014, I created a calendar in my spare time just because I like it. I like playing with acronyms. So this is a calendar of affirmations built on acronyms. And the one that I want to share tonight has everything to do with, I think, what it is we're trying to instill with this program. So it's called I Stand in My Power. And power spells out to be the P stands for purpose, the O stands for outstanding, the W stands for wonderful, the E stands for exceptional, and the R stands for real. In order to really live an authentic life, you must stand in your power, which means you must know who you are and where you're going. You can't be wishy washy about it. Take time to know yourself and discover your unique gifts and reasons for being in this world. Find what you really love to do and develop your expertise. Become better at it than anyone you know. You are the star. Just wanted to share that with you. And from there, we are going to talk about the role of nonprofits in serving our community. There are so many wonderful organizations. And even though we're dedicating a month, I know that we're probably going to have to dedicate several months, not necessarily sequentially, but we have so many people who want to come on the show and share their programs, their passions, and what they're doing to make a difference in the world.
Mm.
So today we have been blessed to have two people that I really, really, really admire. The first is Mr. Maurice Gatson. In fact, I'm going to make him second because Maurice is the CEO and founder of an organization called Results Kids Club. And our second guest, Ms. Cheryl Battles, is a person who has served as an instructor with the organization, and she's also just always there. And true exposure, is that the word? True disclosure is that I'm on the board of the organization. I met Maurice many years ago, and anyone who's working with youth, I've had youth programs, and he's in the same community that I live in Stone Mountain / Decatur. So I just wanted to be of help to them. But it's interesting when you ask people to give you a bio, because again, Miss Cheryl is like she's there helping with the classes, with the young people. She's just, you name it, anything that's needed. When we have board meetings, Cheryl's on the call. So I always think of her as a board member. But Cheryl has her own organization. She is the founder and CEO of Our Master Inc. She is degreed in information technology with more than 30 years of experience as a data processing professional. Who knew? I didn't know that about her. Cheryl currently services the community as an independent financial services professional, licensed with the state of Georgia for more than 20 years. She currently holds many state licenses. She has experience helping families with educational planning, emergency fund preparation, and retirement planning. She has skill, practice, and expertise with insurance disciplines, including life, health, auto, home, and long-term care. As a founder and CEO of Our Master, Cheryl's passion is to empower our community, which is, I guess that's how she got together with Maurice, but we'll let her tell that story, with a series of financial literacy information sessions, providing families in our communities with financial fundamentals, principles, and rules that promote financial responsibility and security. So I would like to, before welcoming, because we're going to welcome them both on at the same time. Actually, let's let Cheryl come up. And hey, Cheryl, we see your picture, but we need to see you. There you are. Beautiful, beautiful smile. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's my pleasure. It's absolutely a pleasure.
All right. You're one of those who just does the work, not looking for a lot of credit. You're just there. However you can assist Maurice, you are there with the children. When my granddaughter was part of the program, the summer program that Maurice ran, you were there as an instructor. You were there wiping noses.
Exactly. I was going to say wiping noses or whatever needed to be done. Yes. Feeding children. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And being someone who inspired and encouraged them,
Yes.
with love. And that's so important. So you could stay on when we introduce Maurice. I would prefer that this be a discussion. Maurice Gatson is one of those people that when you meet him, Maurice doesn't know any strangers. When he meets you, he reels you in, and next thing you know, you're working for Results Kids like everybody else in the community. Maurice considers himself blessed to have found his niche, and that was with the fitness industry. It is a passion which he has discovered, which brings him great fulfillment and regular pay. He has spent more than 26 years building his dreams and contributing to programs such as LA Fitness and Gold Gym and Newman Racquetball and Health Club, Colony Square Athletic and Bodyplex. So one thing that has remained consistent during his professional career is a sense of personal ownership that he's taken in every position that he has held. he has done the work in fitness. In fact, Results Kids Club kind of grew out of results, the first results, which I'm mind blocking on right now, and he can tell you that. But anyway, Maurice is a wonderful person. He has a heart of gold. And when you meet him, you understand that his commitment is to the young people in the community. It's like he's always thinking what else can be done to help the young people in the area of Decatur, in specifically, but he's worked with youth all over Atlanta. And I know that he has found his passion, in addition to the fitness I think was to get him to the youth and to create programs for youth in the community. And one of his sayings I'm going to throw back at him: Maurice, I'm with you when you're right, and I've never known you to be wrong. So thank you so much. And he's a lot. He likes to joke. So I hope you have some jokes for us this evening. Keep it light and keep it fun. I'd like to welcome Maurice Gatson to the program. What a nice picture.
Hey, it's a nice picture. Nice smile.
Hey, Maurice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
How are
Hello,
you?
Maurice. Welcome.
I'm blessed by the best. I'm good.
Good.
I like that. Blessed by the best.
Good.
I know so blessed.
So, Maurice, tell us a little bit about Results Kids Club, why you started it, what's going on in the community that made you realize that this is something that was needed, and what is the it that you do?
As you mentioned, when I first came out in the DeKalb County area, I was opened up Results Central, and I was catering. Most of my clientele were moms and women. They was working out a lot, and then all of a sudden, they started disappearing on me. So I figured out what's going on with the business. So I was able to catch up with them, and the first thing came out their mouth was, "I got to take care of my kid." So God said, "Hold up. The only reason you're not coming because you're not the kid, okay." So then he led me to the kids. So now I'm running in my purpose. My purpose is to save these kids. And so that's what brought me to the kids, because nobody's helping them anyway. So when mom had to go home to them, that made me want to help them.
Wow. All right. What are some of the issues in the community that the young people are dealing with?
The biggest issue that I'm seeing in the community, there's not a lot of male presence in their life. I'm their uncle, I'm their father, I'm their godfather, and the crazy thing about it, a lot of the kids in this community is being raised by their grandparents. So, and the sad thing is, the moms that are raising them, they tend to want to be their friends, and being their friends, the kids aren't getting anything out of it, because they feel, once you know how you treat your friend. That's my friend, so I can do what I want to do. And that's how these kids think. I had a forum with them about a week ago and asked them what's going on. And they told me they want respect. I said, respect? They said, yeah, my favorite, adults need to give us respect, but we give them respect. I said, wow. So they're from a different world than we were. We should be seen and not heard. Now we got to listen to them, because if we don't, they're going to be lost. So the biggest thing is, like I say, when mom leaves them at home, we're like back in the day when they left us at home, we was at home, we might have played a little bit, but they're on TikTok and all these Instagram and all these things. They're raising the kids now, this Instagram and everything else. So that's the problem I'm dealing with a lot, because they're acting out what they see. And they're playing a lot of these video games. So they're acting out what they see on these video games.
So Maurice, let me ask, and thank you again for being here with us. Based on your experience over the years, and you've seen generations come through your program, why would you say it's important that they have male presence in their lives?
It's obvious in the young ladies a lot, because they're going after, and I hate to say this, but like if the daddy happened to be not around, they don't know what kind. So when we grew up, like I said, I wanted a woman like my mom. So if you're not raised by a man, what kind of man can you look forward to meeting? Because you don't know what a man's supposed to do. And these kids, they they just need help because they don't know what they want to do. I just came up with Miss Acronym, Dr. Imani. I love acronyms too. So my most recent one is once the kids come to Results Center, I give them DAP. And what DAP means to me is I give them direction because they don't know where they're going. I ask these young people, what are you going to do when you get out of school? They don't have no idea. That A stands for I give them affection. All of them need love because the reason they're joining gangs because the gangs are loving them more than the past anybody else they're dealing with. And my biggest thing is that P. I give them protection. What we're doing now, I have a 10th degree black belt teaching these kids how to make it home safe because of the sex trafficking, the bullying, and all these things these kids are going through. We're not making them fighters. We're just making them get home safe. That's the biggest thing they need. They need to make it home.
Do you notice that also helps develop their confidence in themselves?
Oh yes, sir. And we did this too. One thing I don't do, I don't ask kids to try something. I introduce it to them. The first question, if you ask them to try something, guess what they're gonna tell you? No. So we did a fashion show with the kids. It was so cool because if you'd have saw them after the show, they was walking, their chest was so high. They were so proud of what they did because they didn't think they could do it. Now what I'm getting ready to do to them is I partnered with Mercer University, and we're going to teach them. We're going to do a beauty pageant, but the princess, queens, and the boys are going to be princes. And I already told Kings, and I already told them they're going to be. I didn't ask them that they want to be. So we're introducing them to everything because they don't know what they want. That's why they come to us. We got to guide them. I'm not a fan of the kids of our future. My thing is the kids of our now. They are now so they can have a future. Because if we don't help them now, they're not going to have a future.
I like that. That's so important. Ms. Cheryl, what's been your experience at Results Kids Club, and why are you there?
I met Maurice a few years ago. I was looking to help in the community, and I was introduced to him from somebody that knew that I was willing to help. So I was introduced to him, and I went to the club to see, and I saw a space where kids could be safe, where kids could experience computers. They could experience. I have a granddaughter. We have a video of her seeing mats in his place and doing flips and creating her own. Gymnasts do a floor exercise. She created her own floor exercise. She felt free enough. What I found at the center was children coming in and being allowed to grow, to express themselves where they are. And then we help to teach them. We introduce things like manners, things like when you walk into the club, you speak. My mom used to say, you speak to everyone. You never sleep. You didn't sleep with them last night. So you walk in and you say hello and you speak. And I see that there's positiveness. The year that I had the opportunity to teach, wow, I found in our community so many, I'm looking for a word that says discrepancies or that they weren't prepared. So I spent some time helping to prepare them. And I tell you, one of the things that excited me the most was we were there for 8 weeks, but when they finally got it, I could see the light bulbs in their eyes. I could see them receiving that it wasn't something that someone told them, but it was something that they experienced on their own.
Wow.
And I think I want to give. I think we all as adults have something we can give to these kids, and I really believe our kids need all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What's most rewarding for you, Cheryl, as you give of yourself back to the children?
Actually, Bernard, watching my own self grow, which makes no sense at all, right? But I think we all have our own, even at my age, I'm still growing. So they help me to grow. They help me to understand how to speak to people. They help me to understand how to talk to youth. I've got a granddaughter, and I need to know how to listen to her, say what she's saying, help her to say it somewhat differently sometimes so that she's not disrespectful in what she's doing. But watching myself be able to be around them and be better for them, for myself.
Yeah, I want to follow up on that because you make a very, very important, that was a very important statement that you made. They help me to grow. Uh, so often it is thought that that the children have really nothing to offer back to us. But when you say they help me to grow, they kind of serve as a mirror for ourselves to help us see ourselves if we are open. And then
Right.
that helps make the relationship, I would think, kind of mutual. Is that right? Is that your experience?
Absolutely. Because as I get better at, um, there's a young lady that when I first started talking to her, she was rolling her eyes and wouldn't talk to me. And so instead of me rolling my eyes back and not talking to her, because I can do that too, I decided I want to do be better. And so I would engage her. I would say, "Hi, how are you today?" And if she didn't speak back, that was okay. I would say to her, "Please have a really great day and let's have some fun today." But it was me growing because I promise you, I could have an attitude too. Remember, I got a 10-year-old in my life. Shut up, Maurice. But yeah, I could I could decide to not. So for me, the experience of and now today, when I walk into the to the center, she'll look at me and say, "Hey, Miss Cheryl, and give me a hug." That's big because that was
Mhm.
not where we began.
Wow,
That was
That's
not
wow,
good
where
to
we
that.
began.
Maurice,
beautiful.
what you got to say? I see you smiling.
It's what makes me feel great about what I do is when the parents tell me, like one of my young girls, she didn't want to come at first. So she came a couple of times, and then it got to where she was waking up early, saying, "Mom, we got to go." But the best one was when she said she loves seafood, and the lady said, "Maurice, I don't know what you've done to my child. She didn't want to eat seafood today. She said she want to come to the center." I said, "Wow, ain't that God?"
Wow.
And
Hmm.
the best feeling I get is when I get the young man. Okay, I talk to the grandmas. First, I ask them, "What do I need to help you with?" So I know what to go at, how to talk to these kids. And this one young man, she said, "You know, Maurice, he never tells me he love me." So I said, "I'm not a man. Have you told you? Do you tell your grandmama you love her?" He said, "No." I said, "Why not?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Don't you know she's your grandmother? Meaning that she should see you on a holiday, maybe, not every day, unless circumstances. We know circumstances happen in life, but there's no circumstance. He got mom and dad, but he's with her." So it was great because when she came to pick him up, he walked straight in there and said, "I love you." You should saw her face. The
Mm.
little tears. I mean, I saw him coming, and it's just the great feeling is how they trust me so much and they allow me to sow into their kids. That's the blessing right there. When they bring them and just say, "Hey, my kid want to come see you," and it's a great feeling because the only thing I don't like, and Cheryl will tell you this, they don't want to leave. That's the biggest thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Am I telling the truth, Cheryl?
Oh
Man, them
man.
kids be staying till 12 at night. I got to take them home. I'm going, we doing a little bit. But I understand because they'll tell you, this is my safe haven. This is a place I can go
Mhm.
where I know I
Mhm.
feel safe. And I'm teaching them the old saying, snitches get stitches. At
Mm.
Result Central, we tell to keep them out of jail because
Mhm.
you know nobody's going to pay their bail well. And that's what I tell them because I said, you got to tell me someone did something so they won't do it again. You don't
Right.
realize you're helping that person by telling. Because if you don't
Mhm.
tell, it's different. It ain't as deep as if you was in a gang or something. You talking about a
Mhm.
kid messing up the back room and you saw him do it. That's what hurts me the most when teenagers let these little kids run over them because they don't want to tell them. If you can't handle a little kid, come get me. I can handle a little kid. So no, it's
Mhm.
just a great feeling seeing these kids grow, and I've seen them grow, and it's such a great
Yeah.
feeling when you see them grow.
That's so powerful, and it's interesting that you mentioned jail because I used to run the education programs for the DeKalb County Jail, right up the road from you, and and it was mostly young people that I had in their 20s, maybe some in their 30s, but very few, older than that. But I had so many students who said, if I had had you when I was in middle school, or, even elementary school, I wouldn't be here. So
Mm.
what you all are doing is so very powerful in terms of setting a foundation of real community support, real love, real helping them to find their purpose and to just enjoy being children without being on guard. It's so very important. Tell us a little bit about some of the other programs. You mentioned the martial arts. I know you have a Boy Scouts troop, a Boy Scouts program, and some other things that you're doing as well. That
May I take this? I'd like to
Mhm.
take this, and Maurice, you can take it from me. But I
Okay.
always got something going on for the children. Yesterday, was it yesterday? It was Sunday. Sunday, I got a call from Mr. Maurice. Will you come and help? Or I'd like you to see us and be here. There was a Sunday fun day. And I have
Mm.
pictures of different groups, little people from 3 to 5. They were throwing with the frisbees, and there was a safe place for them to play where they were fine. Then I looked up, and there was a football game going on. So the older kids were getting thrown footballs from an instructor. So he was throwing them footballs, and they were throwing them back. I looked again, and there was a family sitting on a mat, and there's a mom and a dad and like 4 or 5 different kids, and they were all having supping together. And so what I saw was Sunday fun day. And Maurice, I didn't know if I told you this, but I thought you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. There was food being prepared, and everyone, got what they needed to eat. But it was a relaxing day, and that's just one of the things he provides on a given Sunday, just a day. And Maurice, there's so many other things that you do, but I saw that and knew that it meant a lot to all the people that were in that backyard or in that field that day.
Thank you,
Mm.
Cheryl. I'd have been better if you told me to my face, but I receive it. Uh, we do. I partnered with a guy that has a program called Chess in the Community, and it's located in Athens and Macon. But the playoff of my character, who Results Kids Club. Only thing missing is you. We call ours Chess and You. So I got chess boards out here, and the kids are learning to play that. That's what we
Well,
love.
you're speaking of Brother Life that I introduced you to, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly
I
right.
just wanted to clarify that, right?
Brother Life that Dr. Imani introduced me to, and he's actually donated a robot to me that's 8 months old because I had to get somebody. I have to get somebody to teach the kids to put it together, but also teach them code it so it can move the chess pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Just yesterday, a young man walked in here and donated a 3D machine to me, and I'm saying that's only God. And they you're able to meet these kids like dancing. All you got to do, because you're dealing with a bunch of followers, there's not a lot of leaders, but I got one leader. I could get him to go do this, like go dance, and all the boys will dance. But when he ain't here, they ain't gonna do it. It's just you got to find that niche. So I'm recruiting a lot of 20 plus, kids like 20 to 35 because as I greet these kids, they're gonna always look up to me, but they'll see these guys that are in their 20s because they're gonna be in their 20s soon. So that I'm recruiting them too. And what Brother Gary's he teaches them mentorship and darkness to light, where you teach them you can recognize somebody's getting abused. I'm dealing with kids that are dealing with so much, but I give them a voice. I listen to them first, but I use the same. What I had to tell them the other day, the ones that ain't doing right and ain't take care of what they're supposed to do, I say, I love you, but this is just like any relationship. I'm loving you, but you're not loving me back. Is that a good relationship? No, Mr. Maurice. So what you gonna do? And one thing I've learned to do is before they leave, all I'm saying, I love you. Even I really get on the boys. They said to me, the girls are giving, but I got the boys saying in front of everybody, I love you, Mr. Maurice, because I'm telling you, I love you guys, but I want to see you do better. My goal with all of them is they got to leave better than they came.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing my job. This summer, I had a program that ended up halfway through. The team that I was working with they couldn't do it no more. But one thing I found out with kids, you got to be consistent. So I continue to allow them to come. And I call some people to help them. But if I'd have cut that off for them, you can't do it. You got to show them you're a man of your word. And once they see that, they're going to listen to you. And they listen, I promise you, they listen. They're hard-headed, but they listen.
Sometimes you won't know until later on, but they are hearing and they're seeing and they're experiencing the love that's coming toward them.
Well, the gift that your community provides is something that all of us need as human beings from birth. And most of the children, would assume that's coming to your program, miss most of these. There are five basic needs that we have, and your community is providing that. One is a sense of place and belonging, where when they come, they feel like they have a place where they belong because you and Cheryl and others are providing that emotional interplay with them that helps them to feel that on the inside. Secondly, we need nurturance, and so by you giving back and kind of mirroring for them who they can be, they feel the sense of nurturance when you're telling them and reinforcing into them who they are and who they can become. Then they need protection, so that you talked about the karate training that they have, so they feel a sense of protection that they're learning how to not only defend themselves, but that you have their backs. And so they have this place where then that allows them to feel safe enough to open up and be vulnerable, where in other places they can't be vulnerable. And so if they don't have a sense of safety where they feel safe, they can't open up. And you're offering all of these basic needs, and they also need to feel supported. So if they make a mistake, you can provide correction, and then they're open to receive that correction. And so you're planting seeds within them that's nurturing their brains that they may not otherwise get. So it's just a tremendous program. And I was also thinking as I was listening to the both of you that every day on the news, we're always hearing the negative news, the negative news. And
Exactly.
every once in a while, we get highlighted some stories, but your program is providing so much of healing that will go a very long way for this generation that you're working with, and then the next generation. Thank you.
Yeah, I have always just enjoyed every time I stop by. There's somebody there. I was there last week, and there were two people. A gentleman who he plays 10, he makes 10 drums or something. He's a musician, but he works with the youth with
Yes.
that.
Yes.
There was another gentleman there who was a fundraiser who wanted to work with you all to raise funds for the things that you need, and we're going to get to that after we do a little break. But there are so many ways that people can support a program like yours. Have you had, and I like that you're using the 20-year-olds, because Gary Ogden and I had done that when we had the teen theater program. We had a layer of folks in between our ages and the ages of the youth who could kind of relate to them in a different way, almost like mentors, younger mentors. So, what's been your experience with volunteers? Do you still need volunteers to work with you all?
I volunteers. What I'm gonna do more of is I'm I'm getting ready to make it more structured for my volunteers. Give me 2 to 3 hours out the week. Give me, because I got so many want to do it, but sometimes they're overbooked themselves when they can't show up. Oop, I'm sorry, Maurice, I can't come. So I'm getting ready to go to Georgia State Friday. They got it where they actually got to work for. They got to what works. They pay the kids. They're going to pay the kids to come, and we're partnering with Mercer now, so that's a good thing too. This past Sunday, Miss Battle met her, a young lady, Mayla. She's getting ready to do painting with the kids, sipping paint. And as she was talking to me later that night, I'm gonna tell you how God works. We got to talking. She looked at me. She said, "You know, I've actually been here before." I said, "When?" I had a young artist named Chet. What was his name? Chase. His last name was Chase. He was a little rapper. And when I first got out here, he did let's say open where people could come in and meet him, or meet and greet. He signed her teddy bear when she was 10. She's 21 years old now. And it was so funny. I came back and she told me, now I want to come here and I want to help them the way you help me, and I see what they need help. And she's just 21. And a young boy he came here, his mama dances real good, but he's a great dancer. He told me that he first thing he said when there was video on about a month ago that this is where I got my start, and he says it all the time. So I've touched it, just like my goddaughter Super Peach. She got over 2 million followers on Instagram. But you meet these kids, but all you're doing is sowing into their life, and then later you see them again. I'm introducing myself. I already know you. I said, what you mean? Oh, I've met so many. But like right now, you mentioned like people ask me where I get kids from. What I did was I've been to over 75 schools out here for Career Day. And I go there and I meet the kids. And I didn't realize till I was in the game a little that they told me that they kept asking me, who's your child? And I didn't realize most of the time these career days are the parents.
Yes.
So just volunteer. I said, now I got the point. I said, all the kids are mine because I'm in all these. And I'm going to tell you, you keep doing your due diligence because this young lady came in the other day. I think her first name's Stephanie, but she came in with a flyer she was with the DeKalb district. She's a family liaison for the DeKalb district for all the kids. And when she walked in the door with the flyer, she said, hey, Mr. Mercer, hey. And she said, oh, you just come to Rainbow Elementary all the time. I said, okay. So she had an event 3 Saturdays ago. I went out, Miss Cheryl came. That day, we got over 170 parents' information. Now, they was averaging 3 kids a family. I can tell you that. Because when they come to me, I'm going to talk to them, and they're going to know this is what my passion is. So next time they do one, she said we could do all the entertainment because she sees what we have. And it's just that God is allowing me to reach these kids. And I keep telling people, come help me. I'll reach them. You just teach them. And the bottom line is I've helped a lot of nonprofits who've gotten money, but they don't have a space. They don't have any kids. So they come to me. So now with the help of that young man that came the other day, Jamal, and a bunch of other people, I got to be seen because one thing I've done is I've done all this in the dark, just out from my heart, but I don't ever talk about it. Because when we first got here, a young lady from the news asked me, they don't want to come on the news. It's easy to get on the news, but that wasn't my purpose. I wasn't trying to get on the news. But for the things that I want to accomplish, it's time to let people know what we're doing here.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So collaboration, I heard you mention that, and we're going to take a break right after you talk a little bit about the role of collaboration, because you mentioned Mercer, you mentioned, what was the other school where you had young people?
There's Mercer, there's Georgia State. I'm getting ready to do more with Georgia State. Getting ready to do with Morehouse and Spell. But, the thing is, United Way, the DeKalb Board of Health, Street Grace. What's happened is I find these like, for instance, Street Grace was about, I met her through one of the days I was in where they work with kids about sex trafficking. So they came out and she did a 6-week program. The DeKalb County came out and talked to kids about being abstinent and STIs and everything. They did a 12-week program. So I can furnish them the kids. I just need them to show up and do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, collaboration is great because another thing that's allowing them to meet more people to love on them. Because the more people loving on these kids, the better the kids gonna feel about themselves.
Absolutely.
And the more variety they get. Because we want to show them that it's not just about rappers and not just about the stars that are singing, but you've got other gifts and talents, and we want to help you to see what yours are and show you that there's all sorts of openings and opportunities in the earth for you to show and be who you are.
Do you all get any support and help from religious communities, organizations, churches?
What didn't happen?
Maurice, we can't
Maurice,
see
can
you.
you
We need
can you turn your light on?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. My bad.
Okay, no worries.
Dark on them.
You're fading in the dark back there.
Yeah, it got dark on them.
It did. But yeah, no.
So do y'all get any help from those communities, Cheryl?
I want him to answer that because there's some places where we'd like some more help, and he is partnering with one of the churches that's across the street. What is it?
The Baha'i organization. Yep, I'm familiar with them. And they've we started talking a little bit about the collaboration with the Baha'i Association across the street, Maurice. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, they have some things that I would love to. The biggest problem I'm having with people in general, and that's in life, is when sometimes they don't realize I'm partnering with you so we can help way more kids. I'm not partnering, I'm not going to take your kids. I'm bringing more kids to you. So what I've done, just like we do reading programs, we're getting ready to push that literacy because kids don't want to go to the library because the library ain't cool, but they come to Result Center because it's cool. So I get them here so they can read. We got a brotherhood where we meet every Sunday, and we were bringing kids in and talking to them like that too, because they come here and we could give them the same thing they would have got in church. So we do that a lot too. Reaching out to them, like I said, the biggest thing, I've been working with them for a while, but the biggest thing is for them to, matter of fact, we brought 250 kids over there about 5 years ago. That's the most kids they ever seen at one time. And they did a Thanksgiving thing over there, and I brought the face painting, the bully thing. We turned it out. They were so excited, but I was talking to the wrong person. The right person got to see what you're doing. Because my vision was way bigger than hers. I watched them. They have they got a nice situation where you can plant stuff over there. They had a garden, but I could have had kids doing the garden for them. But in the future, that's what I want to work on, is just let them see that instead of you helping them 10 to 15 kids, I could bring hundreds of kids over because you got a basketball court. You got things that these kids need. It's just, you got to get the people to see you, because they don't see you. They don't understand.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a 5-minute break right quick before we come to an end, or do we want to continue to press through?
We could take a maybe 3-minute break and talk a little bit about, I know last week you introduced isogenics, so we can play the isogenics nutritional supplements spot again. We need to make sure that we have our support, our sponsors, so to speak, and that's something that is important in terms of keeping the show running. So let's do that. We've got our producer in the background who's going to share that spot with us. And then when we come back, I want Maurice to talk a little bit about the need for transportation for young folks to get there and how the community can help in your efforts to fundraise and make sure that you have a van to get your young folks there. So let's do that. We'll do that little commercial spot.
And then write something positive or write something. And I didn't really care. Somebody wrote, I don't want to be here today. As long as you.
All right.
All right. So, all right, we're going to continue. So Maurice, we introduced the topic of, what are your needs in terms of getting young people to your place? I know some parents drop them off, grandparents drop them off, but there are probably a whole lot of young people who could benefit from the programs and services you offer, and they can't get there. So what are you doing to address that need?
We're putting we got to put some packages together so we can deliver to all the different car dealerships and just get it out there, because it's just a matter of the right person seeing what we need. Because even when I go right down here to Freedom Middle School, she had wrote a letter for me because she wanted to get her kids here, but she can't get them here either. So you got to get vans, and really buses too, but vans and buses, because the kids, I can get a lot of them, a lot of kids, if I only had a way to get them here. Because a lot of times the parent might be a single parent. She got to go to work, and she would love for them to be here versus sitting around the house. But I can't get them here. So it's just getting that. I need help purchasing some vans. And we can say after school programs, the parents love for them to come here, but we don't have a van to go pick them up. So the van would save a lot of kids, and we get a lot of kids here. And we could take them on field trips because of my sense of humor. I got away a lot of times when the kids want to do You always get that one kid that really speaks on, want to go on a field trip, and he's always so everybody's listening to him. So we all went back. I took him back on the field the other day, and I said, if you could run the 40 yards faster than, well, we put a time for him. And what I did, I stood right where he's going to run. So when he ran by me, I stuck my leg out and tripped him. And I told him, "There go your field trip."
That's not a good story. That's horrible.
Poor child. Oh my goodness.
Abuse. I don't know. That's
football player. He rolled over and got back up. He told me to say something.
I did. I did tell you to tell a joke, so that's my fault.
My
bad. But are you doing any fundraisers like GoFundMe or anything like that people can contribute to? We're trying to make sure that the audience, if they want to help, they have a way to help.
I have some young ladies now that's going to put a good package together and I got guys doing the videos, putting the videos together so they can see all the stuff we're doing. And that's how we wanted to put it out. But yeah, so we're going to get it out to everybody. Even when I did for my birthday, I put my phone, had a band video out there. My goal was to raise 5,000. We raised 1,300, and it was just a thought. It was just a thought that day, the day before my birthday, we put it up, and people jumped on it. But it's just like I say, the right people just need to see it. That's the biggest thing.
Right, absolutely. And so, if people wanted to contact you, what do they need to do? What's the best way to? I mean, we have. It says Results Kids Club, going across the screen. But how else can people email you or call you? Or
that would be great. Email would be real good. I love the emails for sure, so I can send stuff to them. It's resultskidsclub@gmail.com.
Resultskidsclub@gmail.com. Okay. All
yes,
right.
ma'am.
That's a good way. So what else are there are other things you want to share with us about your programs, about your vision, where you're going, where do you see yourself going in the next, 3 or 4 years? What's big on the horizon for you?
What's big on the horizon is I want to go ahead and set this up and let it be the prototype, because our goal is to open more of them. But I want it to be the prototype and show all the different things we're able to do with the kids. I didn't want to bring back, we remember back in the day we had to do the presidential fitness challenge, where you had to do these 4 different things. So we came up with the Results Kids Fitness Challenge because the kids aren't really having PE at school like they used to. So we want to introduce that to the kids and let them and show how it works. And just the young lady told me she could put me in front of 6,500 kids. So what I want to do, even like the Can Man, she was telling me guys about Mr. Gordon Hazelwood, and what he's done, he's made instruments out of cans, but they're tuned, and we're getting ready. He's gonna put together a marching band. He's gonna do the buckets too, but you see people hitting buckets right now, but they're hitting the buckets hard. He's tuning the buckets where they actually have a sound, and he wants to put lights in the buckets. So there's a lot of people that I want to introduce to these young people, a lot of seniors especially. But what I really want to do, anybody that wants to come help, anybody that's got a talent they want to bring to introduce to these kids, we got to introduce it to them, because what we're looking at now is we got to give them options, because either they're going to rap, they're going to dance, they're going to sing, or they're going to play pro sports. So we want to introduce them to being behind the camera, being the manager, being the promoter. Still you could be in the industry, but you could be, I told them if I've had a choice, I'd rather be LeBron's manager and go anywhere I want to go than be him and make similar money. So you just got to pick your poison. They only know what they see. So we got to introduce them to stuff.
True.
So,
and I said, I want to duplicate this.
So Maurice, on a personal note, how does your work transform your life?
I've always been disciplined, and like helping these kids. Like I surround myself with Dr. Imani, Cheryl. I surround myself with a lot of intelligent people, but then I surround myself with kids. So now I'm staying young and I'm intelligent. Because I keep telling these kids the way. Oh, you didn't laugh at my joke. Okay, I'm with you. But what I tell these kids, I've said this in front of the kids, because I think with these kids is I practice what I preach. It was so cute. Now you got to realize I've been with these kids for years on years, right? So one day, one of them finally said something, And I cussed back, and they said, Mr. Maurice, you curse? I said, I'm an adult, but I tell you what, I won't curse no more because I'm gonna lead you by example. I don't have to curse to get my point across. And that's what's wrong. You guys think cursing is, they'll tell you, like these little young rappers, they say, I gotta curse and gets the point across. I said, why don't you go in the dictionary and find a word that people gotta look it up? They're gonna keep listening to music, but don't understand what you're saying. They're gonna look up the dictionary. So yeah, these kids have kept me young. But now when I bring in these 20-year-olds and stuff, it's allowing me to get a balance. So because this weekend was good enough for me to taught me a valuable lesson, because my adults that was going to help me couldn't help me. So God gave me a concept, why don't you let the kids do the work? So I let the kids run everything. So Miss Cheryl got here. She didn't have to do anything this time, right, Miss Cheryl?
Whoa, yes.
Hello, Miss Cheryl.
Sorry. But as she said, I show up, I clean up, I do everything that needs to be done. And you're absolutely right. I had an opportunity to meet some of the young mentors, and I thought it was an awesome opportunity. I met Jamal. I met so it was great to be able to actually interact and plan so that we can move forward.
That's my biggest thing, you guys. I'm open to everybody coming in and let's help these kids, because I'm helping so many. And we gotta save them. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not that one at a time guy. I changed that group, I changed that circle, and I'm changing most of them. What's funny is the ones you think you don't change. Like I got one gentleman that's in his 20s. I kept talking to him. He came to the program. He disappeared, but he done brought me 5 more strong young people. You never know when in fact you have one person. He might not be the person supposed to be doing it. He might bring in the ones that's going to do it for you. And that's what he's done. He's continues to tell people about you. They come, they show up, and they love what you're doing. Now I'm getting an opportunity to help you. That's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. It's so interesting when young folks emerge as leaders and you really hadn't seen them in that role. I did a healthy haiku workshop once, and it was a guy who came in and he was kind of late. In fact, it was at like a detention center in Fulton County. And this guy came in, he was sort of standing by the door. So I, invited him to come to the circle. He sat down and was like, I don't really want to be here anyway. And it was an opportunity for them to speak and share stories. And the stories quickly became about, some of the painful things they had experienced in the community. And it was a platform for him to share his pain, to share the things he had gone through. And he hadn't had that sort of forum before. And when we broke down to do poetry, he was leading one of the small groups in terms of creating poetry. And I was just amazed. I'm like, wow, it's like just to see his life transform in a few minutes. And that's what you all do day in and day out with young people. And that's why I'm so connected with you all. You're one of the few places over the past 3 years, I've been out of town in Virginia. And you're one of the few places that whenever I'm in town, I stop by, just even if it's like, 15 minutes, half an hour, because it's that important to me. What you all do.
We're down to our last few minutes, and I just personally wanted to say, I have not met either one of you before tonight. I am so humbled and by your humility, your courage, your wisdom, your love, and your compassion and empathy that you have for the children in our community. And thank you so very, very much for who you are and what you're doing. And we want to get more people to be of help to what you're doing for the children of the community. So thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely.
And I left one thing off in closing on my part is we also feed them. I get the food pantry, I feed the families, but when the kids come here, I feed them too, so they don't leave hungry.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I meant to mention that part. You always have food, people dropping and sharing food with young folks. Yeah, they don't leave there hungry. In fact, they leave with bags of food sometimes. So yeah, that's another great service that you provide. And Brother Kynes, do you want to take us out? And again, I echo Bernard's sentiments. Thank you so much for coming on. I know this was kind of a short notice, and we just appreciate both of you stepping up, which you do all the time anyway. So thank you for joining us.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. You are muted, Bernard. Are we all muted?
Yeah, did I hit the mute? Well,
I think you did.
thank you so much, and we look forward to you coming back next week and being with us. We encourage you to support our guests and I call ministries tonight. So for the ancestors, Ashe.
Ashe.
And namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, Imani.
See you all next week. More exciting.